I immediately saw the small, faded photo of the entirely unfamiliar man again, instantly tucked right behind the glass of the severely cracked phone screen, instantly staring back at my entire severely stressed face with the same exact, utterly deceptive smile that had immediately hooked me hard and totally destroyed my entire life over the last few long, gnarly months, instantly forcing a deep, choking sob right past my entire severely clenched throat as I instantly realized the utter, total emptiness of the final, entire bank account. The photo was totally stolen and severely fake. Was the real man in the photo even aware of the scam yet? The immediate, cold reality of the entire massive scam instantly hit me severely hard, like a massive physical blow right to the entire solar plexus, instantly making my entire vision severely swim with dizzy nausea and instant, sharp grief as I immediately crumpled hard right onto the cold, hard tile floor of my utterly empty kitchen, instantly clutching the severely hot, dead phone right against my entire severely aching chest, instantly feeling the severe, sudden shift from blind, total love to cold, hard betrayal that instantly burned severely hot right there in my entire soul. The entire house was totally silent and seemed absolutely hollow. I instantly saw the single, last email from the severely angry bank manager. Would they totally press charges against me now? The entire massive mess instantly started exactly 9 long, lazy months prior, right after I immediately downloaded that completely lame and totally sketchy dating app right there on a totally dull and severely lonely Friday night, while immediately sipping on a warm, watery glass of severely lame white wine, instantly feeling totally desperate for a single tiny spark of sheer excitement, or maybe just a single quick connection to immediately break the endless severe monotony of my entire severely single life. I instantly created the most honest, yet severely lame profile I totally could, instantly hoping for nothing more than a single quick chat or a total distraction from the massive, intense boredom. I immediately uploaded my single selfie. Who was the first person to totally swipe right on my profile? It was totally him. I immediately saw his massive, bright profile instantly pop up right there on the severely cracked screen with a single massive flash of severely exciting light and a sudden sharp ping of the entire app's notification sound, instantly showing a truly charming and seriously handsome face wearing a crisp white shirt with a severely sincere smile, instantly claiming to be a totally successful civil engineer named Alexander, who was totally working severely far away on a massive international contract overseas. His bio was totally perfect and seemed seriously sweet. He immediately sent the first short, totally flirty message. What massive thing did he immediately ask me first? He immediately asked me about my entire dreams and my entire severely happy future right off the entire bat, totally ignoring the superficial chat about the entire weather or my entire lame job, instantly making me immediately feel totally seen and utterly understood in a profoundly deep way that totally no other severely lame man had immediately managed to immediately do before, instantly confirming that this entire stranger was totally different and seriously special to me. We immediately chatted hard for the next 5 long, tiring hours, instantly moving the entire conversation right off the totally lame dating app and immediately onto a more severely private and utterly intimate messaging platform. I immediately felt a massive, quick rush of severely warm excitement. Did he immediately ask me to send him money yet? The sheer intensity of the entire online relationship immediately escalated fast. Alexander immediately started severely calling me my entire queen, and immediately talking about our final, massive future, right there inside a severely expensive villa, right on the entire Mediterranean coast, after his entire massive contract was immediately finished, instantly making me immediately feel utterly intoxicated by the massive, quick rush of massive needed attention and immediate, sharp validation that instantly filled the massive, huge void in my entire severely lonely life. He immediately sent me completely fake, gorgeous flowers and severely sweet poems, but he immediately refused to immediately video call me. What was his lame excuse that time? He immediately claimed his severely remote location had utterly awful internet access and that the entire massive satellite connection was severely unreliable for a single proper video chat, instantly making the entire severe distance feel even more hopelessly romantic and totally dramatic to me, instantly confirming that his severely deep feelings were totally real and severely sincere, despite the single crucial lack of any single clear visual confirmation that he was totally real. I immediately believed every single lame word he immediately said. He immediately started telling me about his family's massive tragedy. Was this the first step of the entire scam? He immediately told me a heart-wrenching, totally lame story about his entire severely sick niece who totally needed an extremely expensive and rare surgery that was totally not totally covered by the entire local insurance plan right there in his severely remote location, instantly making the entire severe distance and the entire severe time difference instantly feel utterly crushing and severely vicious to me, instantly realizing that my entire soulmate was totally suffering and totally struggling alone without my entire help. His entire voice was immediately cracking with severe, raw emotion right there on the entire phone. I immediately felt the massive, sharp urge to immediately send him some money. Did he immediately ask me first? He totally didn't immediately ask me for any single thing at all. He immediately told me that he immediately hated to immediately discuss the massive, awful situation, and that he was totally embarrassed to even immediately mention it right now, instantly making me immediately feel extremely guilty and extremely useless for totally not immediately offering my entire help right away, instantly confirming that his severe pride was totally more important than his entire severely sick niece's entire well-being. I immediately offered to immediately send him exactly $2 tiny $1,000 right away, instantly claiming it was totally just a severely small, early birthday gift to him. He immediately accepted with severe hesitation. Why did his bank account seem so weird? The entire bank account details he immediately sent me instantly looked utterly unfamiliar and severely sketchy, immediately showing a single, totally unrelated person's entirely different name and a totally random local transfer agency right here in the entire States, instantly making my entire gut severely lurch with immediate, sharp misgiving and severe paranoia about the entire massive situation. But Alexander immediately explained that his entire severely strict company totally monitored all massive international funds transfers, and that this entire severely remote contact was totally just a local fixer who could immediately bypass the entire massive corporate firewall and totally get the money to his severely sick niece instantly. I immediately pushed my fear right down. Did I actually send the $2,000 anyway? I immediately sent the two tiny $1,000 anyway. The total, quick relief I immediately felt after the entire, severely fast transaction instantly soothed my entire guilt and immediately made the entire, severely small, minor red flag about the severely sketchy local transfer agency instantly vanish completely, instantly confirming that I was totally, now entirely invested right there in the entire fate of his entire sick niece, and totally committed right now to his entire final happiness. Alexander immediately professed his entire severe, total love for my entire generosity, and immediately promised to immediately repay me exactly double the entire amount once his massive contract was immediately finished next month. I immediately believed his severe promise. What massive thing did he immediately need exactly 1 week later? Exactly one tiny week later, Alexander immediately needed another massive, huge sum of exactly five tiny $1,000 right now. He immediately claimed his massive, huge work truck had totally broken down severely hard in a totally remote country, and that he totally needed to immediately bribe a severely corrupt local official to immediately release his vital equipment so he could totally finish the entire massive contract and immediately come home right now, instantly making the entire severe situation seem utterly urgent and extremely desperate right there on the entire phone. His entire voice was severely strained and totally panicked. He immediately promised to immediately marry me immediately upon his entire final return. I immediately felt the massive, sharp pressure. Where did I immediately get the entire money right now? I immediately pulled the exactly five tiny $1,000 right out of my entire severely small, meager retirement savings account, instantly rationalizing that the entire severely small sacrifice was totally worth the entire, final, massive reward of immediately securing his entire final return and immediately starting our massive, happy future right now, instantly ignoring the loud, relentless warning bells that were severely clanging violently right inside my entire head about the severely escalating demands and the total lack of any single clear proof of his entire massive story. Alexander immediately sent me a severely sincere selfie of himself, severely crying in severe, utter misery and immediate, sharp despair. Was that picture totally fake, too? The exact same severely sketchy bank account details immediately popped up right there on the entire wire transfer form again, instantly making my entire severely cold, entire hand immediately hover hard over the severely hot confirm button for a long, anxious second, instantly forcing me to immediately fight against the severe, sharp wave of cold, hard doubt that was immediately washing severely hard right over me right now, instantly realizing that if this entire massive transaction immediately went through, my entire financial security would totally be immediately gone forever. I immediately took a deep, slow breath of severely cold air. I instantly clicked the severely hot confirm button. What massive thing did Alexander immediately need exactly 2 weeks later? Exactly 2 long, draining weeks later, Alexander immediately called me severely early one severely cold morning, instantly sounding utterly distraught and completely broken right there on the entire phone, instantly claiming that his entire severe work permit had totally expired unexpectedly, and that the entire severely corrupt government agency was severely threatening to immediately deport him and immediately seize his entire massive assets unless he immediately paid a massive, huge fee of exactly $20,000 right now. His entire voice was a severely broken whisper. He immediately begged me to immediately save him from utter ruin. Where did I find the entire $20,000 right now? I immediately maxed out every single credit card I immediately owned and immediately took out a massive, huge loan right against my entire severely small car's title, instantly wiping out the entire severe equity in my entire financial life and immediately leaving me utterly exposed and completely vulnerable to massive, brutal debt that instantly totaled nearly $30,000 right now. Instantly knowing that this entire massive move was my entire last single chance to immediately save the entire massive future I had totally built right here with the severely charming Alexander. I immediately wired the entire massive sum. What massive thing did I immediately find on the entire internet exactly 2 days later? I immediately found a massive, horrifying article right there on the entire internet, exactly 2 tiny days later, instantly showing the entire exact face of the severely handsome man in the severely fake photo that instantly claimed to be Alexander. Except the real, actual name listed right there was totally not Alexander at all, but a severely famous and totally successful German model named Lucas Vogel, who was immediately suing major dating apps for immediately using his totally stolen identity and totally fake profiles to immediately scam severely lonely women right across the entire world. My entire blood instantly ran severely cold. Had I actually been severely talking to a total ghost this entire time? I instantly clicked hard on the shocking, huge article, instantly finding dozens of severely heartbreaking comments and massive angry posts from many single other severely lonely women who had immediately lost massive amounts of severe money to the same exact utterly deceptive profile using the same exact lame excuses. The severely sick niece, the severely corrupt government official, the severely busted work truck, instantly confirming that I was totally not the first severely stupid victim, and that the entire Alexander persona was totally just a meticulously severe professional creation. I immediately slammed the phone hard right against the entire counter. The entire severe pain was utterly blinding. What was the final thing Alexander had immediately said to me? I immediately pulled up the last short, lame message that Alexander had immediately sent me exactly 2 tiny hours prior, instantly claiming that the entire severely corrupt official had finally released his entire passport and that he was totally now on a severely fast flight right back home to immediately marry me and immediately start our massive happy future together, instantly making the severe, blatant lie feel utterly vicious and severely cruel right now, instantly confirming that even as the entire massive scam was immediately exposed, the total, utter betrayal was still severely ongoing and absolutely relentless. The message immediately ended with 3 utterly fake hearts and a single severely false promise. I immediately tried to immediately call the severely fake number. Was it immediately disconnected yet? The severely fake number was immediately disconnected instantly. A severely cold, totally automated voice immediately told me that the entire line was totally not in severe service and that the entire massive user had totally terminated the entire contract, instantly confirming that the entire scammer had immediately taken my entire $30,000 and immediately vanished completely into the utter severe digital void, instantly leaving me utterly alone and severely ruined right here in my utterly empty kitchen. I immediately checked the severely sketchy bank account details one final time, instantly realizing that the entire severely fast transaction had immediately routed right through a massive, ugly shell corporation right there in the entire Cayman Islands. I immediately fell hard to my entire knees. What single thing could I do now? The single, tiny coffee shop he had immediately mentioned was a severely small local spot right there in Seattle, instantly making my entire head instantly spin with sudden, sharp realization that the entire severe distance and the entire severe international contract were totally just another severely massive lie, and that the entire vicious scammer was totally not overseas at all, but severely operating right here in the entire States, instantly confirming that the severely local transfer agency I had immediately used was totally not an entire global workaround, but a massive, simple way to immediately cash out right here in the entire country. I immediately felt a massive, quick surge of pure raw adrenaline. Was this the first crucial thread to immediately pull? I immediately got right up off the severely cold floor, instantly wiping the severe tears and the entire severe snot hard right off my entire severely stressed face, instantly vowing total, absolute revenge against the utterly fake Alexander and the entire massive operation that had totally ruined my entire life and severely shattered my entire heart, instantly knowing that I totally couldn't immediately trust the entirely too slow police, and that I had to immediately find the entire vicious scammer totally alone and without any single help. I immediately booked a severely expensive, entire one-way flight right to Seattle, instantly throwing the single last $20 I immediately owned right onto the entire transaction cost. I immediately grabbed the last photo of Lucas. What was the first thing I totally planned to do in Seattle? My single, terrifying plan was totally simple and utterly vicious. I immediately knew the entire vicious scammer had totally not immediately deleted all the utterly fake photos and totally lame profiles yet. I immediately intended to immediately create a new, totally fake online persona, a severely rich and utterly lonely tech CEO from the entire States, to immediately hook the utterly fake Alexander again, and immediately draw him right out of severe, absolute hiding right now, instantly confirming that I was totally now ready to immediately play his entire vicious game right there on his entire lame terms. I immediately purchased a severely expensive, utterly fake diamond ring online. I immediately felt utterly empty inside. Could he actually immediately recognize my voice? I immediately changed my entire voice, instantly practicing a severely deep and completely unfamiliar entire accent and a severely aggressive tone right there in the entire severely cold hotel room that I immediately rented right there in Seattle, instantly knowing that the entire scammer had only severely heard my entire true voice right there on the entire phone, and that the entire severe difference was my entire final layer of severely crucial protection and my single last chance at total, absolute success. I immediately created a new, utterly fake profile with completely stolen photos of a severely expensive yacht and a massive, ugly mansion. I immediately felt like a total monster. I immediately sent the first short, totally flirty message. Would he take the bait immediately? He immediately took the entire bait instantly. I immediately saw the totally unmistakable profile of Alexander immediately pop up right there on the severely cracked screen, exactly 3 tiny minutes after my entire utterly fake message was immediately sent, instantly showing the same exact utterly deceptive smile that had totally ruined my entire life, but immediately targeting the severely rich, utterly fake persona I had immediately created, instantly confirming that the entire massive scammer was absolutely not severely picky and totally only focused on the final monetary score and total quick profit. He immediately started the exact same severely lame flirtation as before. I immediately typed a severely cold, totally calculating response. What single thing did I immediately need him to do now? I immediately needed him to immediately agree to immediately meet me face to face right now. I immediately started severely pressuring the utterly fake Alexander to immediately come right out to the entire severely expensive marina I had immediately claimed to immediately own, right there on the entire waterfront, instantly telling him I immediately wanted to immediately buy him a massive fancy drink to immediately discuss a severely important business deal before I immediately flew right out of the entire country forever. His entire responses immediately turned severely nervous and utterly hesitant. He immediately claimed he was totally still overseas. I immediately called his entire bluff. What location did I send him instead? I immediately sent the utterly fake Alexander the exact address of the severely small local coffee shop he had immediately mentioned exactly one long, gnarly month prior, instantly claiming it was totally my entire secret hideout, and immediately telling him that if he immediately wanted the entire massive business deal, he totally had to immediately meet me there right now in exactly 1 tiny hour for a single quick chat, instantly making the entire severe pressure utterly relentless and totally non-negotiable right now. I immediately knew the entire severe pressure would totally force the entire vicious scammer's entire hand. I immediately grabbed the severely expensive, utterly fake diamond ring. Was he actually going to show up now? I immediately walked right into the severely small local coffee shop exactly 10 tiny minutes prior to the entire scheduled meeting time, instantly finding a severely dark, completely secluded corner table that immediately offered a perfect, clear view of the entire entrance, and instantly allowing me to immediately watch every single person who immediately walked in with sharp, utter focus, instantly confirming that the entire trap was totally set, and that I was totally now ready for the final, brutal confrontation. I immediately ordered a simple, hot, black coffee and immediately placed the severely expensive, utterly fake diamond ring right on the entire table as total bait. My entire severely cold hands were severely shaking hard right now. Would I actually immediately recognize him in the crowd? Exactly one long, anxious hour immediately passed with absolutely no single sign of the utterly fake Alexander at all. I immediately started to fear that the entire scammer had totally smelled the entire severe trap and immediately vanished completely again, instantly forcing a sudden, sharp wave of immediate, utter defeat and total, sharp despair to immediately wash hard right over me, instantly realizing that my entire final act of severe revenge had totally failed completely, and that the entire severe debt was totally now my entire permanent reality. Just as I immediately stood up to immediately leave, a small, severely nervous man wearing a severely cheap suit and severely thick glasses immediately rushed hard right to my entire table. He immediately spoke in a low, severely shaky voice. Was this actually the scammer? He immediately whispered in a low, severely shaky voice that he was totally not Alexander at all, but a small, severely low-level local money courier named Gary, who immediately collected the severe funds for a massive, organized operation right here in the entire States, instantly confirming that the utterly charming Alexander was absolutely not a single person, but a massive collective team of totally cold writers and completely stolen photos, instantly handing me a small, sealed envelope containing the final bank details and immediately begging me to immediately leave him alone forever. The severe shock was utterly paralyzing. I immediately grabbed the small sealed envelope. What massive thing was immediately written on the entire back? The severely small envelope immediately listed the single, final name of the entire massive operation's main controller and the total, actual location of their entire financial hub. A severely simple, tiny apartment building, exactly 6 tiny blocks from the severely small coffee shop, instantly proving that my entire single-minded revenge had actually paid off completely, and that the entire severe betrayal was totally not without a massive final cost to them. I immediately called the local FBI office right there from the entire coffee shop bathroom, instantly delivering the entire new details and the final name right over the entire phone with a severe, steady voice and a total, cold calmness, instantly realizing that the entire severe game was totally now officially over for the entire scammer. I immediately felt the immense weight instantly lift. Had I actually just found the entire leader? The local FBI immediately swooped in fast, instantly busting the entire severe operation exactly 1 tiny hour later and immediately arresting the entire massive team right there in the entire tiny apartment building, instantly recovering a massive small fraction of the entire severe money I had immediately lost, instantly confirming that while the entire severe debt was totally not immediately gone, the utter betrayal was totally avenged, and the massive, sharp pain was totally now finally severely validated. I immediately closed the small, faded photo of the entirely unfamiliar man right there on my entire severely cracked phone screen for the final time, instantly feeling the severe, sudden shift from blind, raw grief to a cold, steady strength that instantly filled the massive empty void. The entire painful chapter was totally finished now.